So when it comes to array, as Blender changes, we of course aim to change as well. So that brings me to array v2, which is our current array. I take the most pride in this array because it just is so good to me. It doesn't do all the spinning and twisting stuff yet, but based off of customer requests, I believe once we nail down the 2D behavior of it, we can get it to be the default. So basically, once you jump into this array, moving the mouse will just move the array. You can see that my cursor is way over here on the other side, and it's basically because it's using a movement modal system where it doesn't actually take my mouse position into consideration. However, if you're interested in using that, you can press V, and V will actually enable what's called 3D mode, where whenever you scroll, you're actually adding segments in between, which is a whole different type of way to array. And I've become a big fan of this recently, and there's been talks of how we can integrate such things into Boxcutter to make it also feel more organic. So, through these studies, we often find, the future paths that often bring about even more ideas. I'm committed to the idea of making hops this great thing that's easy to use out of the box for all sorts of users, whether you're a power user or a beginner, and this array is a step in that direction. There's a lot more to it even than that. One of the things that I'm kind of a stickler for when it comes to arrays is being able to press 1. Actually, we press V to get out of 3D. Actually, let's go right back into it. And we're not in 3D right now because it says we're in 2D. And by pressing 1, we can actually slap this shape directly to 1. And this is something that I find myself doing often. Another thing is that changing the axis is constrained to X. So just pressing X over and over will just change the axis, which I find to be a lot more organic feeling, especially when you're on a laptop and you're looking for keys in the dark. You might find yourself just wanting to just press the same key over and over to change the axis because pressing it in the first place did not work out. So what about pressing it again? But there's a lot of things to this that I feel offers a lot of extensive usability to the user. One of those is also the ability to press G to bring up a graphic, which isn't actually showing in this context. Let's bring it up again, press V, and then we'll press G. And we see that there's an axial display on screen that's kind of a prototype of an idea to just let users know what axis they're actually moving this shape on. But this is something that we do want to perfect and become the absolute best default that it can be while providing users the type of things that they've been requesting. We have people asking for things like numerical entry and stuff like that. So for us, it's always a conundrum of how can we expand on these ideas and make them great without alienating existing users who already have a firm understanding of how the tools should work.